Hey guys, so welcome back to today's episode. Today we're going to be talking contrast training. So contrast training is something that I use quite a lot in my own personal training. Obviously showing you through me and Jamie going through this from earlier this week. And basically contrast training to me is the combination of combining a strength-based movement such as a squat in this example, or a box squat in this example, with a jump, plyometric, or even a sprint exercise. And basically what you're trying to do here is you're obviously putting your body under some load. So again, I kind of work around that sort of 80% mark. We're looking for maximum intent, maximum recruitment of motor units to be able to move that weight fast, and then taking what we kind of learn under the bar and putting that into a jump or even a plyometric or a sprint. Contrast training is basically, it kills two birds with one stone, right? We basically take the strength-based movement, and when we're trying to overcome external resistance, we have to learn how to recruit more motor units to be able to produce force against that resistance. And then after finishing the set here, we have a small transition as we go into our, in this case, box jumps. Okay, so we're trying to take that activation from the heavy squat and put that into our jump or our plyometric or our sprint movement, okay, to try and be able to express higher levels. And it's interesting because the research has shown that by combining them, we get a greater improvement in strength, speed, power, and overall performance than we would do if we were to perform the exercises in an individual fashion. However, I would caveat this is that you don't want to utilize this all the time, right? I do believe in going through phases of sort of more general physical preparedness, so some GPP phases where you are just laying the foundations for strength and then dipping into 2 to 4 week blocks of contrast training and then coming back out of it and then sort of constantly wave loading in and out, right? Because in order to get the maximum gains out of anything, you need to become somewhat inefficient at it. And if you do something repeatedly, you almost become too efficient where you're just going to plateau on those progress. So it's learning to use these tools when they are needed, and then to go back to the building phase and lay the foundations that allow me to then, when I do go into this, to get more out of it. The other thing that I think is vitally important with this, and this not only goes into contrast training, but all types of training, right? Especially for athletes that are trying to get fitter, faster, stronger, is that when you are under the bar or when you're deadlifting or when you're performing an Olympic lift, one of the most important ingredients to whether or not you're going to get results is intent. So as you can see, when I'm going through some of these squats, well, hopefully you can see, is that I'm lowering myself down onto this box, I'm pausing, and then there's a violent contraction of trying to lift that weight as fast as I physically can. It's very easy to get caught in the trap of just lifting the weight, just producing enough force to get that bar moving, but actually we're trying to move that weight as fast as we physically can. And it's that activation of those motor units that then carries over into the explosive jumps or plyometrics or sprints. It's learning to push harder against that external load whilst maintaining good form and positions. And the only thing I will say there is that you do require quite a large amount of rest. Less so when you're doing a box jump because there's less load on the body because you're jumping up onto the box. But if you were to go through and progress this into hurdle hops, I'd be taking sort of somewhere between 3 to 5 minutes rest after a set. But just make sure you're allowing the body to recover between sets and you're not treating this like conditioning, because all that'll happen is you'll accumulate more fatigue. With fatigue comes more risk of injury, and you dig yourself a deeper hole to get out of before the next session. So to get the most out of this, put your all into every rep and take your recovery between sets. I hope you found this video useful, and hopefully I'll see you next time.